Greetings, Skill Incarnate bringing you all the latest indie gaming goodness. Welcome back as we look at another indie game. This time I'm covering the gothic roguelike Metroidvania Source of Madness, created by Swedish developer Carrie Castle, who previously worked on physics-based sandbox games, and published by Thunderful, who released the Curious Expedition series. Source of Madness is a Souls-like Metroidvania game with roguelike elements such as procedurally generated worlds, a detailed character progression system, and magic-based combat. The title takes heavy inspiration from the work of one of my favourite authors, HP Lovecraft, with the character design, enemies and environment filled with dark horror. However, the main reason I wanted to play Source of Madness was due to its use of AI machine learning. This is a huge deal, because it's extremely rare to see machine learning implemented in the video game space, and rarer still to see a small indie studio utilising this cutting-edge technology, due to the high level of complexity involved in implementing it. As an IT nerd myself, I was very excited to see how the game experience would change with the introduction of machine learning, and how it would affect areas such as level generation and enemy behaviour. This review also let me continue my lifelong quest to find the perfect Lovecraft game. Source of Madness takes place in the Loamlands, a once peaceful place that's been twisted into a barren hellscape due to an army of Lovecraftian entities. Mankind has been driven to the edge of extinction, forced to hide underground far from the horrors of the surface. The player takes control of the Acolytes, a cult that has learned to harness the cosmic powers of the Old Ones. Their goal is to destroy the Tower of Madness, the origin of the entities, in a last-ditch effort to save humanity. However, the cult's powers come from worshipping Yog Sothoth, one of the Elder Gods, and they too can fall prey to madness. The game provides only the most basic of details for the story, similar to the Souls games, with players needing to explore the world to find notes, journals and characters to flesh out the story. The player begins each run in the human sanctuary, with a cultist you select from a pool of randomly selected characters. You then begin exploring the Loamlands, fighting off monstrosities with your magical abilities, gathering artifacts to increase your power, and trying to fight to the Tower of Madness. Combat is greatly simplified compared to other roguelikes, with the player having access to magical attacks that are determined by your magic rings, offering a variety of elemental abilities like lightning bolts and fireballs, as well as dark magic, including life-draining attacks and poison. With each death you choose a new acolyte, with more classes and abilities unlocked as you progress through the skill tree. The main selling point for Source of Madness is its use of machine learning, which is woven into most of the game. Not only is it used in the procedural generation of levels, resulting in some absolutely mad designs, enemies are also AI generated, creating truly horrifying monsters covered in eyes, teeth and tentacles that look right at home in the game's Lovecraftian world. This was a fantastic application of the technology, as even the best procedurally generated environments will all look the same after playing for a period of time, and Source of Madness certainly avoids this. The problem is with the enemies. They have a very limited set of attacks, with most of them relying on melee attacks and bites, and sometimes their design results in them missing limbs, which restricts their movement, or they're too large to fit through passages. Furthermore, the game uses ragdoll physics, and this results in enemies getting stuck in the environment each other, and even trapping the player under a pile of bodies, making battle either extremely challenging or laughably easy depending on the environment. The random nature of enemies removes much of the learning element present in Souls-like games, where you learn enemy attacks and patterns in order to overcome them. The enemy AI is supposed to learn and adapt to the player, making for a more challenging experience. However, I didn't notice the enemy behaviour adapting to my tactics during the game, although the generated monsters did get larger and do more damage as I progressed into the campaign. Source of Madness is an ambitious take on the Metroidvania genre, which uses a combination of dark gothic settings, surreal artwork, and a very impressive application of machine learning to create a game that is wild and chaotic as the source material it takes inspiration from. The combat is unique, focusing on ranged magical attacks and allows for many different builds, and there's a massive amount of skills, items and character classes to unlock. The game's main strength is also its main weakness, with the machine learning providing the challenge of unpredictable enemies and environments, but also the problem of random and sometimes downright unfair levels. Furthermore, I found that certain character builds focusing on ranged attacks felt unbalanced compared to other types. Source of Madness represents an early step towards the application of machine learning in games, and I hope it provides an inspiration for other developers to introduce this into their work more regularly. It's currently $20 on the PlayStation Store, and I recommend picking this up when it's on sale. I hope you enjoyed my review of Source of Madness, and if you did, I'd appreciate a like and a subscribe as it really helps the channel. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I hope you'll join me next time when we look at another indie game. Until then, Skill Incarnate, out.